A beautiful morning in Makudu, the Benue State capital. Welcome to Daybreak Benue, your breakfast companion. My name is Stephen Abba, and today we'll be talking about very important issues. We're raising conversations in this studio today, and we expect you to join using our social media handle and add your voice to whatever is going to be discussed here today. Of course, on RX, Facebook, and the rest of our social media handle. But let's quickly take a look at what is happening on the foreign scene. Yesterday, the President of the United States, Joe Biden, has said he's not going to continue in the presidential race, that he's handing over that mantle to his Vice President, Kamala Harris. And this is a very important turnover in the Democratic, in the camp of the Democrats in the United States, that the person that is holding the mantle as in to contest the next election is saying, I cannot do it again, that I'm handing it over to someone else. But the speculation here is that, is America ready for a female president yet? These are things we'll be looking at as everything progresses. And of course, there are things we need to take home from this. One of it is that this is not a do or die affair. If you can't continue in a race, you are supposed to hand over. This is what Joe Biden has done, and I think it is commendable. It is very important to know that anytime a leadership mantle is handed over to you and you think you cannot continue running with the baton, it is very important to hand it over. This is exactly what he has done, and Harris said she's going to do her best to see what she's going to do to take the Democrats in on this race against Donald Trump. Now the question is Donald Trump ready to contest with a woman? And is Harris capable of contesting with Donald Trump, with the kind of person, the personality he is, his charisma, the aura he carries, and the rest of it? These are questions that will be answered even as the election holds in the next few months. We say stay tuned and keep your eyes gleamed on the screen as this unfolds. We say welcome to Benue, to Daybreak Benue. Even as we are going to go on a break and our guests to be seated in a few minutes, we say stay tuned, do not go away.
Benue TV, a new dimension in broadcasting.
Welcome to the exciting world of Benue Television, where we give you an exclusive ride into the world of news, current affairs, and entertainment. Ready for a first stop? Ride with me. For Benue Television.
Our news and flagship program, Daybreak Benue, keeps you informed on events and happenings around the nation and the world.
We engage our guests on hot topics and beam searchlight on shady stories.
With millions of people watching Benue TV worldwide, we ensure that we bring you news that is accurate, timely, and dependable.
Our programs are entertaining and educative with high-quality audio, leaving you with an amazing viewing experience.
Benue TV, a new dimension in broadcasting.
Several houses and homes were sitting in water at the time of this report, and roads washed into crooked gullies following more than 4 hours of heavy downpour, which began Thursday night into Friday morning in Makdi, the Benue State capital. Areas worst affected are parts of Achusa, Gado Villa along Boko Road, Worokom behind Deeper Life Camp, Ungudu Mega Layout, opposite International Markets. The value of destruction to property and valuables is yet to be estimated, but there are indications that people will be displaced for a while in areas where houses are sitting in water. Residents of Gado Villa, Ernest Umchi and Moses Ilim lament the meanings of the flood, recounting how long their communities have been suffering the effects of the flood.
The water has destroyed so many of my things, and it just came all of a sudden. We have not been experiencing this in July. Usually it's in September we experience this, from August, September. But this one came without we knowing that it's coming at this time. It came so abruptly.
This thing happened yearly, and anytime there is much rain, it happens. If there is a flash flood like this, the water will not be able to flow there, coming back. The water is flowing up instead of going down, so it feels everywhere. Anytime there is much rain.
Richard Bayer and Boniface Ange say the flood took over their community, thereby hindering vehicular movement and pedestrians. They appeal to the Benue State government to intensify the effort in the silting and construction of drainages.
At about 6 p.m. yesterday that this rain starts, up till now we are not able to sleep. We cannot eat. The rain falls since yesterday till this morning. We've moved to another person's house, and even there the rain still enters. So we are stranded. All my documents are wasted.
The flood is now becoming so persistent. So, as you can see, this is what we are experiencing, and we are appealing to government to come to our aid, because many properties worth of millions of nairas are being destroyed. Recall
that the Nigeria Meteorological Agency, NIMET, had warned that the flood this year will be worse than last year, affecting 31 states, with Benue inclusive. Evidently, more stringent solutions are needed to address the meanings of flooding in Benue. Oleku Ondoma, Benue Television News, Makdi.
It was Nelson Mandela who said education is the most powerful weapon to change the world. Governor Hassan Thalia is inaugurating the governing councils of tertiary institutions in the state as a significant step forward towards enhancing the quality and efficiency of the state educational system. The governor describes the responsibility of the members as a vital mandate to draw and refine the policies that will drive the institutions towards excellence. The governor charges members to use corporate governance principles of integrity, openness, accountability, and professionalism in approaching their duties. He tags them on building contact with other educational bodies and organizations to get new insights, resources, and opportunities as key to achieving the objective of growth.
Your role is to concentrate on policy enhancement. The policies you develop and implement should aim to uplift and improve our tertiary institutions, ensuring they meet and/or even exceed global standards of education. These linkages help us to adopt best practices and innovative approaches that can significantly enhance the quality of education we offer in the state.
According to him, government will soon generate a manual to guide councils in the performance of their duties and make recommendations to the visitation panels to their institutions for implementation after state council consideration.
We have full confidence in your abilities and believe that you will bring your wealth of experience and dedication to bear on the institutions you represent. Your courage, vision, and commitment are crucial as we embark on this journey of transformation together.
To the heirs and management of the institutions, the governor urges them to support the councils to succeed.
You must avail them with the right and full information they require so as to enable them make informed decisions. I want to assure you that if there are any gaps in the constitution of your council, we shall quickly rectify them.
The chairman and pro-chancellor of Benue State University, Makurdi, Paul Chukuma, on behalf of the chairman and members, assures of commitment to discharging their duties, promising a cordial relationship with the institutions to achieve the needed development of the institutions.
We want to assure you, Your Excellency, and indeed the entire group people of Benue State, that we will take up this assignment as a call to service, and we will deliver the cargo without any story of the storms.
The boards have a 4-year tenure expected to kick off with inaugural lectures to be communicated by the leadership of the various institutions. Emmanuel Akula, Benue Television News, Makurdi.
It is the second time Benin City will play host to the 79th General Assembly of Broadcasting Organization of Nigeria, BON. Top media practitioners across the country have gathered here to decide the fate of the industry in the nearest future. The two-day event comes under the theme Navigating the Challenges of Broadcasting in Nigeria and is expected to come up with a communique that will be presented to the federal government to address some pressing issues affecting the broadcast industry. Governor of Edo State, Godwin Obaseki, represented by the Commissioner for Communication and Orientation, Mr. Chris Nekare, responding to the earlier request made by BON, promises to make everything possible to assist at the state level.
The role of the Broadcasting Organization of Nigeria is paramount in ensuring that our airways are filled with content that educates, entertains, and empowers our citizens. Through our collective efforts, we have the power to influence public opinion, drive social change, and uphold values of democracy and freedom of expression. In Edo State, we have remained committed to supporting the media. We have promoted free, independent, diverse media landscape, particularly during this critical time in the build-up to the September 21 governorship election.
In a goodwill message, the Director General, Nigeria Broadcasting Commission, NBC, Charles Ebube, promises to strengthen partnership with BON.
Our common goal is clear. It is to enhance the quality and the reach of broadcasting in Nigeria, upholding the principles of fairness, accuracy, and inclusivity. The NBC is committed to fostering a regulatory environment that not only ensures compliance and accountability, but also encourages innovation and growth within the industry.
Chairman of BON and Director General, Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, Comrade Salihu Dembos, represented by Vice Chairman BON and Group Managing Director, DA Communication, Chief Tony Akioto, describes the present state of BON as that of a person in an intensive care unit that needs urgent assistance from the government.
Broadcasting is going through perilous times. As we speak, very few stations operate more than 6 hours a day across the length and breadth of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and that's the information available to us in BON.
Director General, Benue Television Corporation, Dr. Patience Achakbakyo, who is also present in the meeting, expresses optimism over the outcome of the communique.
During this 79th General Assembly, the Broadcasting Organizations of Nigeria is trying to help the stations address the circumstances. And the best way to describe what the stations are going through in Nigeria at the moment is to say that they are in ICU, of which they are needing urgent medical attention from the federal government and even the state to help the stations come back to where they are able to manage.
In attendance are director generals and general managers of different broadcasting organizations of Bonn.
Father Alia, who wants the summit to become a yearly event to promote health in the state, announces that his administration is giving priority to the health sector through increased health expenditures captured in the Benue State 2024 budget. The state chief executive, while lamenting the negative effect of cancer in the past years, is concerned that it has accounted for about 79,000 deaths annually in Nigeria, placing the country second on the cancer burden in Africa. He says with a clear vision, his government is bringing deliberate initiatives in the health sector, promising that resources will be effectively utilized to improve healthcare services in Benue State.
Promoting health through the life course is becoming more important than ever before, which explains in part why our administration is committed to increasing health expenditure as evidenced in this year 2024 approved budget. The result of this commitment is that the narrative of poor budgetary allocation to the health sector is intentionally being reversed.
Chairman of the occasion and a former governor of Benue State, Dr. Gabriel Suswam, who says he is more interested in the progress of the state, challenges other Benue sons and daughters to unite in support of Governor Hassan Thalia's administration, irrespective of political differences for the development of Benue State. Senator Suswam opines that Governor Hassan Thalia's reforms at the hospital through the Chief Medical Director, Dr. Stephen Hwande, will resuscitate the facility to attract medical tourism and positively impact the economy of the state. Speaker, House of Representatives, Dr. Tanjuddin Abbas, represented by the Chairman, House Committee on Health, Amos Magaji, underscores the importance of a cancer center, saying that it will complement other health programs in Nigeria towards improving the healthcare sector of the country. The International Health Summit is holding with a theme towards attaining a one-stop hospital, while the cancer center will be named after a former governor of the state, Senator Gabriel Suswam. Emmanuel Akula, Benue Vision News, Makudi. Governor Hassan Thalia says the visit signifies that more organs in the state are committing to peace, dialogue and resolution of conflicts, noting that it aligns with the values of his administration. The governor re-echoes the commitment of his administration to work with donor agencies to find comprehensive and effective ways of addressing issues hindering peace in the state, while assuring the center of his unwavering support to deliver peace in Benue. Governor earlier requests the organization to consider relief, rehabilitation, and reconciliation tools for lasting resettlement of the displaced persons in Benue. He reveals that his government is working out durable solutions towards improving the livelihoods of displaced citizens and to create a stable environment for them.
The peace processes you have facilitated in Jos, Kaduna, Southern Plateau, natural resource peace processes in Nagatu, in Konshisha, and Oju here in Benue have laid the groundwork for lasting peace and cooperation among communities. I want to express my unwavering support for the sustainability and expansion of these peace initiatives.
Country Manager of Center for Humanitarian Dialogue, Dr. Chris Agoha says, with focus on innovation and mediation, the organization has facilitated peace across the world and is willing to do same in Benue State for sustainable peace. He announces that the center is already doing a lot towards engaging warring communities in Benue, highlighting the Bonta and Okute land dispute in Konshisha and Ojo local governments as a model to their efforts towards brokering peace among Benue communities.
Using networks and partnership built over many years, We engage in creativity at international, interstate, and local level with activities that includes 1, making contact with conflict actors and others where others cannot reach, building trust and dialogue between conflict parties, brokering negotiations, ceasefires, and peace accords, supporting humanitarian and health efforts in high-risk areas.
Project Coordinator of Center for Humanitarian Dialogue, Mr. Ibrahim Saleh, requests the Benue State government to facilitate implementation of agreement by warring communities in the state. Reveals that his organization has also drawn a roadmap that will ensure sustainable peace and development of the state.
One area that we have really not had a lot of successes is in implementation of agreements, especially on the part of the state government. So for your coming has given us hope. We are happy that we have a governor today that is willing to take on these difficult tasks. Some of them are politically difficult, economically difficult, and you are having to manage the difficulty resources and then the difficulty of inflation.
Director General Bureau for International Cooperation and Development, Mr. Leo Viashima, affirms to the governor that Center for Humanitarian Dialogue is credible and ready to partner his government for total return of peace to Benue, particularly at the grassroots. Emmanuel Akula, Benue Television News, Makudi.
Early hours of Wednesday, the magistrate court sitting in Makudi delivers ruling on the ex-parte order granted to the former governor of Benue State, Samuel Otom, on May 29, 2024, forbidding the commission from investigating the income and expenditure of the state during his tenure. Delivering ruling on the matter at the magistrate court, Justice Tetsia Aswa says the law is settled as ex-parte order cannot be granted for long and shall abate after 7 days. He went further to quote Order 39, Rule 3, which speaks on the ex-parte order of injunction, which should not be allowed to overstay, therefore discharges and vacates the order in line with the application council reference to Order 40, Rule 6A. At the resumed hearing, counsel to the respective respondent makes case for the discharge of the interim order on the ground that it has expired and breached the fundamental right of fair hearing. Reacting to this ruling, counsel to the respondent Clement Moore says the ruling has been based on the wisdom of the court according to Order 39 of the rules of the court, though it has not tampered with their case.
This was an oral application made by the respondents, order earlier granted by the Honorable Court in compliance with Order 40, Rule 3, Sub Rule 6A, which state that the grant for leave to apply for judicial review shall operate as stay. But in the wisdom of the court felt that the order of interim injunction is not supposed to last indefinitely, and so evoked the provisions of Order 39 of the rules of this court to vacate them. I think it does not in any way affect the substance of our case. We are coming back here on the 22nd of July 2024 to hear the substantive matter. So it has nothing to do with the substantive case.
A member of the commission and lawyer Tom Uja, commenting on this ruling, says the coast is now clear for them to begin their work.
The business of the court today was to decide on the fate of the interim injunction earlier granted against the Commission of Inquiry. The Honorable Court, in its wisdom, discharged this interim injunction, therefore giving the Commission of Inquiry the right and permission to continue with its business by calling, hearing, and making decisions about the memoranda submitted to it. I'm pretty sure that before the end of the day, certain notices will be sent to certain persons, and the key witness to first appear before us will be determined by the chairman. But you can all speculate who that witness will be.
In a swift reaction, The State Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice and Public Order Fidelis Mnyim expresses excitement over the ruling of the court, saying the case of the respondent is limited in nature and ambitious. He urges Benue people to feel free to come with their memorandum.
Excitement is stemmed from the fact that the Commission of Inquiry was set to do the work for the Benue people. And now, if the former governor is having a challenge, or if he has a defense, he would have ordinarily come to appear before them. But yeah, it's his right to file a case. By filing a case, you should not foreclose the door of the commission to do their work. Like argued in court, these lawyers are so much aware that their case is limited in nature, where it's not in totality of the mandate of the Commission for Inquiry.
Substantive hearing of the case has been fixed for 22nd of July 2024. With this development, the income and expenditure is to commence sitting as soon as possible. Dosu Duku, Benue Television News, Makurdi.
It is said to be the first of its kind that will be taking place at the state-owned health institution. Dr. Kwande, Wednesday, during the briefing, notes Governor Alia's efforts towards bringing transformation to health sector, highlighting the achievements of the hospital since assumption to office.
There are plans to upgrade salary payments for health workers. And when the salaries are upgraded in the area of health, brain drain, Japa syndrome, and migration will be up, and the Benue people, even at the primary and secondary health sectors, will be developed. So we are transforming the hospital. If you go around this hospital today, you see any paper anywhere, you know that something is wrong. Go around yourself. Cobwebs and hygiene is restored here. We have employed not less than 600, and being very minimal staff in all cadre in this hospital to beef up what was already existing, because you cannot improve hospital without manpower. I was brought in not less than 10 to 12 professors back into the fold of the teaching hospital to give quality and professional and expertise at the highest level. Neurosurgery is done here now, and the rest of all.
The CMD also calls on Benue people to join hands in developing the hospital to international standards as a response to governor's development strides in the state. Dr. Wande informs the programs of the summit will start on Thursday, July 18, 2024, with scientific exhibition, while on Friday, major events will be unveiling of ultramodern cancer center and launching of 5 billion naira endowment fund.
Now during the summit, we are going to discuss basically attaining one-stop hospital as the first arm, and then the second thing, which is significant, is unveiling our desire to set up an ultra-modern cancer center. We want to begin a process of changing the narrative on cancer management, not just in Benue, but in North Central Nigeria. That endowment fund is a 5 billion endowment fund.
Several houses and homes were sitting in water at the time of this report, and roads washed into crooked gullies, following more than 4 hours of heavy downpour, which began Thursday night into Friday morning in Makurdi, the Benue State capital. Areas worst affected are parts of Achusa, Gado Villa along Boko Road, Woroko behind Deeper Life Camp, Ungudu Mega Layout, opposite International Markets. The value of destruction to property and valuables is yet to be estimated, but there are indications that people will be displaced for a while in areas where houses are sitting in water. Residents of Gado Villa, Ernest Umchi and Moses Ilim lament the meanings of the flood, recounting how long their communities have been suffering the effects of the flood.
The water has destroyed so many of my things, and it just came all of a sudden. We have not been experiencing this in July. Usually it's in September we experience this, from August, September. But this one came without we knowing that it's coming at this time. It came so abruptly.
This thing happened yearly, and any time there is much rain, it happens. If there is a flash flood like this, the place, the water will not be able to flow there, coming back. The water is flowing up instead of going down, so it feels everywhere anytime there's much rain.
Richard Bayer and Boniface Ange say the flood took over their community, thereby hindering vehicular movement and pedestrians. They appeal to the Benue State government to intensify the effort in the silting and construction of drainages.
At about 6 p.m. yesterday that this rain starts, up till now we are not able to sleep. We cannot eat. The rain falls since yesterday till this morning. We've moved to another person's house and even there the rain still enter. So we are stranded. All my documents are wasted.
The flood is now becoming so persistent. So, as you can see, this is what we are experiencing, and we are appealing to government to come to our aid, because many properties worth of millions of nairas are being destroyed.
Recall that the Nigeria Meteorological Agency, NIMET, had warned that the flood this year will be worse than last year, affecting 31 states, with Benue inclusive. Evidently, more stringent solutions are needed to address the meanings of flooding in Benue. Oleku Ondoma, Benue Television News, Makri.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is Daybreak Benue on Benue Television. A few weeks ago, or over 2 months ago, NIMET has warned that about 31 states will be affected by flooding this year, worse than what we had last year, including Benue State. On Thursday night / Friday, there was heavy rain in Benue State, and Makurdi Metropolis was inundated as a result of this rain. And of course, a lot of houses, a lot of homes were flooded as a result of this. In our studios today, we're going to be discussing effects and management strategies of flood in Benue State. And seated in our studios this morning is Andowase Kunde, Honorable Commissioner for Humanitarian and Disaster Management. And of course, Ugu Odo, the Commissioner for Water Resources, Environment and Climate Change. And soon to join us also is Sir James Yupu, the Executive Secretary, Benue State Emergency and Management Agency, SEMA. You're welcome to our studios. Yeah, quickly, the question here is that, was your ministry, as Minister of Water Resources, expecting what happened on Thursday / Friday night?
Yeah, thank you very much for that question. The ministry is aware, because the flood alert was out by agencies responsible, NIMET, and we took our time to assess the situation and take proper measure towards the expected flood within the state. We started that by the sifting of drainages, within the major flash points in the state.
What is that, the silting of drainages?
The silting of drainages is an evacuation of the blockage of drainages as a result of siltation over years. Because we discovered that most of the drainages within Makurdi town are not desilted for a very long time now, over years now. Going by my record, over 7 to 8 years now, most of the drainages are not desilted, and the level of siltation is so high. So we started by desilting most of the flash points, when you go to Tonimas, there used to be a lot of water covering all the road before now, but as it stands, apart from the potholes you find around that place, you won't see the volume of water like that. Even at Bakoni, at Noge Junction, even Isha Bakut, we took a proactive measure by desilting most of the drainages.
Okay. maybe we should be going to the causes streets. Why do we have this kind of because I think what happened on Thursday night / Friday morning is almost unprecedented because of the volume of water that we found in Makurdi metropolis especially. What do you think are the causes of this?
Yeah, we can relate the causes of what happened to two factors.
Okay.
One, we have the natural factor. Two, we have the human factor. The natural factor is as a result of climate change. You know, we keep hearing of climate change. For to have a rain for almost 3 to 4 hours non-stop, that is an unusual situation, and we need to take the issue of climate change seriously. The second thing is overflooding of the river Benue. And when you go to the river Benue, the table level is so shallow, the level of situation of river Benue now is so high.
Yeah.
Like when it gets to within September, October, or October, November, you see that what you are seeing, you don't see water. What you see is the sand that you are seeing now. The situation of river Benue is so much that river Benue need to be dredged. And because of the level of situation, anytime it rains, the water bank cannot take it, so it overflow it bank. You know,
Yeah.
so the one that drop, instead of finding its way into the river, they come back to the people. So those are natural causes, and the only solution in respect of that is dredging of river Benue, which the state is working so hard, and also working with the federal and appealing to the federal to come to the rescue of the state by dredging river Benue. Then the second factor is human factor. Human factor in the sense that most people form habit of dumping their waste on drainages. You go to residential houses, even drainages in front of their residential houses, you see people dumping waste into it. You see some people collapse the drainage to have access to either their residential houses or to maybe their business area, which is unacceptable. You know, you cannot do that because you cannot stop water. You cannot stop water. Water will always find its way and it will fight back. That is what you are saying.
All right. Just joining us in our other studio is Sir James Yopu, the Executive Secretary, Benue State Emergency and Management Agency, SEMA. You're welcome to the show, sir.
Okay, and I'll be moving my attention now to the Honorable Commissioner for Humanitarian Disaster Management, because recently the 2024 Flood Technical Committee embarked on an assessment, visit around Makurdi Metropolis to assess the level of damages done. Honorable Commissioner, do you mind walking us through some of these areas that was visited by this technical team, and then what they actually saw on the ground?
Well, thank you so much. Good morning. First of all, let me sympathize with those who are affected as a result of Thursday, Friday, the rain. A need assessment was carried out as directed by His Excellency, myself, Honorable Commissioner for Water Resources, seated here, Works and Lands. SEMA was also out of the team that went out. We started with the Wadata rice mill and down to Naka Road, where we saw the Winners Church was overflooded, and then down to Achusa, welfare quarters, and then K Village, and all of that.
And to Dunamis Boko Road.
Yeah, Dunamis Boko Road and all of that. We see that these places were flooded. A need assessment has been conducted. Like I earlier was here and I said, ours is to investigate, see the root cause of this, and then we write to ESCO to direct water resources works and plans to their necessary action. By the grace of God, we're all out together, and SEMA has done a need assessment. On Thursday, there's a joint memo that will be presented in ESCO. Some places were also marked out for demolition. Like water resources had said, it is the issue of building on the water ways, and water must have its way. You can't block it. It's like a breeze that you can't control. It must flow. So when you stop its access for free flow, it must find its way out, and then it might goes by destroying people's houses and what we have seen here. So this team has carried out a need assessment. I believe that by Wednesday we'll be presenting this in ESCO for ESCO's necessary action. Those places that have been marked up for demolition, the ESCO will do justice on it. We are appealing to Benue people that for us to correct this, people must cry, because one person has caused a lot of problem for more than 10, 12, 13 households. One person, because of the drainage that you build on it, the one that you have blocked, water has found its way overflow, and then it's caused a lot of problems to other neighbors. So we must, as a necessity, destroy some of this. We must demolish some of these houses.
Okay, I'll get back to you on that last thought about what needs to be carried out in order to not have another year of flooding, because this is not the first time Benue is going to experience flooding. And the other time, it was because the Cameroon Dam was opened and then due to natural disasters as well. But this time around, the Lago Dam was not opened, but then Benue is experiencing this unprecedented flooding where properties are being destroyed, people are left stranded and hungry. But was there an appeal or advocacy warning these people, to evacuate those prone areas flood? And I'll bring that question to the SEMA boss, James Urapo. Did you by any means carry out an advocacy appealing to these people to evacuate from those prone areas to this flood?
Thank you. Already our GMOs are there. We have visited some of these communities, appealing to them, to particularly those who are living in the coastal line, and we are appealing to them to move to some areas so that they will protect their properties and children. We are most concerned that when we have issues like this, the most affected are most vulnerable people, as the women and children. So we have been appealing to them. Our people are being heard of it, our other radio station in the state. Because immediately we receive the signal from NEMA and that Benue is one of the top risks states that is going to be flooded. We started informing our people. And the flash flood that occurred in late June also gave signals to what information we have been receiving from the federal government concerning Benue. Benue is on the top list of those that are flooded. And about 17 local governments are going to be affected this year. We have invited all the local government chairmen in the state. NEMA officials were here to carry out awareness on downscaling of the information of the water reach out to the local government for a sign. I said, we don't know what will happen. We invited all the local government for meeting with NEMA and the other state officials. SSG, Secretary to Government of the State, represented the governor at that conversation. And we are proud people. And going forward, my rescue, my search and rescue team this summer have already gone on the field to identify those poor areas. And we have carried out, we have a data of those people who are going to be affected, particularly in Nagori Town, based on the flash flood we had in late June. So we are preparing our people, we are informing them, we are carrying out this need assessment. Really, like the student of Benue University who were mostly affected during the last June flash flood. We have marked them for intervention, which we are going to do this week.
Okay, sorry to butt in, but from what I gather here, there has been timely, advocacy informing the people to evacuate those prone areas, but they just failed to move. Could it be because there was no intervention as to where they should move out to, going by the mere fact that the issue of housing is a huge problem for Makurdi residents, and if they are being told that this area is going to be affected by flood, that they are not being given a place or a shelter they can temporarily move into, don't you think that will still make them not necessarily move, probably because they don't have any place to go? Or could it be that there was a shelter allocated to them, but they just failed to move into those places?
See, Benue State is one of the states in Nigeria where people receive people without even knowing them. We will be surprised to know that many people are commanded people who are in danger. That is a normal norm. It's a normal thing for the Benue person. And then when you are in trouble and you run to the level, they will be accepted within this household. So we are using that advantage we have in the States. People who are hospitable, who are welcoming. You will notice that in Katu and Ikwande and Batokun, people are displaced as a result of conflict or invasion. But they are not living in camps. People, they are villages. People don't even know. Welcome them and provide shelter for them. So we are exploring that kind of advantage we have in the state. People are welcome. So I want people to move. While we are waiting for, last year we prepared international markets and some other schools we identified to house those people who want to be displaced by the flood of 2023. But thank God that the magnitude of the flood was not right again on the people of the state. So this year too, we are waiting to see what will happen. Already the governor has set up a cabinet committee. They have moved into action. After today, we are going to have a meeting with all those who are involved. So they will put our heads together and say the necessary step we are going to take to find a way to mitigate the impact, the flood impact on our people. So we are working round the clock. We cannot abandon our people. We are very serious to making sure that we provide soccer for them. So
okay.
All right.
Sorry, let me just bring this to the Commissioner for Water Resources, Environment and Climate Change, because you talked about comprehensive drainage systems and the affected areas too, as a way of cushioning or solving this problem. But would that be a lasting solution or just a temporary or quick fix to these problems? Because if you provide even drainage systems, the water will still, that will be a channel for the water to flow. Where will the water actually flow to? Going by the nature of how River Benue now is long overdue for drainage.
Yeah, thank you very much. Like I earlier told you, River Benue needs dredging as it stands. stand now, it needs dredging. And if River Benue is not dredged, the only temporary solution we have on our hands now is to do a well-channeled drainage, whereby when it rains heavily, it will flow and leave those residential houses. And you imagine, during our assessment tour, we now discovered, you understand, that a particular household was overflooded. Even the fence fell down, and the channel of water out of that compound was blocked by the same waste that the household dropped on the water channel. And the moment it was the waste, the polythene bag was pulled out of the channel, the water channel, all the water left. See the damage. So I also want to appeal to the people, you know, that we should take the issue of waste disposal seriously, because when you come to, it's only in Makurdi here you see people dumping refuse directly to the waterway, that is the drainages. Like you said, that will be a kind of temporary measure to cushion the effects of this flood on the household.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Stephen, because you identified a very peculiar problem, which is people dumping refuse. And when it has to do with the environment, you had a Hemo Affairs. Personally, I've actually witnessed where it's raining and people saw that as a good avenue to sweep their refuse dump into the gutter. They hope that the rain will flood the dirt away, and I wondered to where. But you're at the Hemo Affairs when it has to do with the environment. What measures have you put in place? Having seen that you are actually aware of these habits being carried out by residents?
Sanctions?
Yeah. Before now, like I told you, most of this attitude is as a result of failure on the part of the previous government, previous administration, because what we met on ground when we were Zoom office was so disheartening. And thank God, His Excellency just appointed a substantive acting GM of Bensasa. We are working together, working out a blueprint on how to go about people taking very good care of their waste in their houses, and we are setting up task force that will be monitoring these activities, and at the same time we are bringing on board the community, engaging the stakeholder within the community, at the same time other service providers that will go to each household to get this waste to the proper channel where government now will come and evacuate those wastes properly. The task force very soon will be inaugurated and they will hit the ground running, and by so doing we'll be able to curb the issue of indiscriminate dumping of refuse on this waterway and within our environment, which has
reading.
We are putting them in place.
This is for the Commissioner for Humanitarian and Disaster Management. You spoke earlier about the policy that will happen or will happen in the near future. Has there been maybe like an announcement, advocacy, as in to people who are going to be affected expressly, that so time, so day, we are coming to do demolition, say, and we expect you to move to safer places? I don't know if your commission is responsible for that and if it has been done by the government.
Well, yeah, there is going to be an awareness. First of all, I told you after our needs assessment, we are going to present a memo to the council for council's action. And once the action is being taken, once it becomes the public interest, you don't have otherwise. Some of these houses are fenced. They are fenced. They just they are lands who Now some of these people build and acquire this land without being allocated. So with our assessment, we saw that behind former now Oficon, that was a filling station before Casio, behind it there is a lawyer that lives there. There was a land which under normal circumstances this way the water channels, and the man, without being allocated, he acquired the land and mount a very mighty fence there, blocking the free flow of water. All these places are being marked, but when it becomes the matter of public interest, you don't have otherwise. Like the house will not be affected, but the fence we are going to demolish it. But this has to do with ESCO. We are going to do a joint memo of our needs assessment. We present on those areas that we found them, those houses that are being built on the water channels. We identify them, we present it to ESCO for their necessary actions. And once that is being done, we will carry out an advocacy. We'll go to radios, televisions, just like we're here. We tell Benue people, you can't be living in your comfort zone at the expenses of others. These things has been going on. There is need for us to do it so that other people will also live in peace. So that is what it's going to be. We are going to do that very soon. I think Wednesday, ESCO, we are going to present our need assessment before the ESCO.
Okay, this question is for the Executive Secretary, Sema. We are talking about Makurdi Metropolis for now. Are rural areas affected by this flood too?
No, we have not received any information about other communities outside of Makurdi affected by the flash flood. It's only Makurdi local government that, because of the closeness to River Benue, even though Buruk local government is also seated at the bank of the river Katsnala, we have no reports about floods here. Just like what the commissioners are saying, our major problem in Makurdi is those people who build on waterways. This has been on for some time. We have been having this challenge of people who either they drop their waste in the drainages or they build on water channels. So Makurdi is flooded basically because of attitude of our people. So now the government has decided to take a very firm decision to open up these places to allow water to flow, so that will save the lives of majority of people who are living in Makurdi communities.
Okay, maybe, sorry, Mercy, quickly, maybe you should say something about this Commissioner for Humanitarian. Now, people's houses are going to be demolished, like you just said earlier. Maybe somebody else's is just the fence. I don't know if I'm preempting the memo and the decisions of the ESCO, but is there any plans on ground to see how compensations can be done? Because some of these persons have lived here for decades.
Well, our needs assessment was very focused and very comprehensive. If you build and you don't have allocation on the land that you have built, knowing fully well that there was an empty land you acquired without being approved by the government, you don't have any compensation on that. As you acquire the land, so you leave the land, because you have to. The people have this attitude of don't going through the history that this land is not empty. Government has a mission on this very land. It was a water channels, a drainage. Because government has not come to work on the drainages does not mean that government does not have a plan to work on. The flood we are having here in Makurdi is as a result of blockages of drainages. water challenge. There's nothing more than this. Ordinary Commissioner of Water Resources had said that the River Benue is being overflowed by sand. But if you go to River Benue now, River Benue is not out to its banks. But Makurdi is heavily flooded. Why? It's because of these water channels. And for us to live in peace in Makurdi, we must map out these areas and demolish them. And then water resources will go and evacuate those blockages and allow a free flow of water.
Honorable Commissioner, you agree with me that there are some settlements that were very rural before, and the town expanded and covered them up. What will you do if such a case arises?
There is no land that is being as ancient as government's plan. Because if you have your ancestral land that has been taken over by government. Normally government comes with a plan. When Ministry of Lands plan the settlement, you know that the land is being allocated by the community. So on no account that government will leave you like that. There must be a plan for the community. The land is normally allocated to community. When the town planners planned a town, those living in that area before government carried out a plan, they must have a land that has been allocated to them. Minding that these are streams, and they know that normally when it rains, water needs to flow, and those places are being left for such activities.
You see, this
and because you are a settler, or you are in that community.
That is ancestral home.
Ancestral home, and government has planned, come and map out this. And said this is a channel for drainage, and what is given for you is not okay. But you acquired a portion of it without being allocated. This is what we are saying. If it is fenced, we need to bring down the fence. If you build anything there, we need to bring down the other part will be, there's a plan. We are going to look into the master plan of Benue State.
Okay, that is what I wanted to. Sorry, I know Mercy is itchy to ask a question. I wanted to ask: is there a master plan, and how long has past administrations, or have past administrations rather, followed this plan? Because maybe what you are saying is new to Benue State indigenes, because we know that people buy land from communities, and these communities may not have been mapped out at all, and people build. So in such a case, maybe the government will now say this house you've just built here is the reason these other homes are having these issues. These are the issues I'm talking about, and I'm sure you are going to come across that.
You see, there's a master plan.
All right.
For Benue State entirety, and particularly Makurdi. His Excellency has been very careful so that he don't go against the plan. That's why we went out with Minister of Humanitarian, Minister of Water Resources, Minister of Lands and Works, Housing and Open. Not only Open was also part of it. If you are if you buy a plot of land, normally you go to lands to acquire yourself, and your plan, your building plan must be registered with Open. Open will go and verify the portion of your land and make sure that it is not out of plan. If it is out of plan, maybe they might alert you that this place government has, this is a green area or a Nigeria government reserved area. Don't build here. You can build here, but here you don't build. So we went all of this engagement, conversations are ongoing. Urban is going out to allow. That's why immediately Urban map up some of these buildings because they are out of plan. So Makurdi has a plan. Just that people are being lawless. When they say Urban has already told them when they were building this, they already mapped that please don't do this. This land has been reserved for some future activities. But you know, human beings, they will go ahead and build. Even the barrister I'm talking about has crashes with the community because they told him that we have been having challenges of flood here. Please, this land you are acquiring now is for. We went there, myself and him, see that the fence is so thick that because he must acquire that portion of land. These are people who are complaining. So the area we are saying that these places must go down to allow others to rest as well. These people, you see, they are mighty and this is well built fence. There is no flood that will come that will affect them, but rather it will find its way and cause a lot of disasters for the neighbors.
This is where I actually expect a system that works to, have the full rods of the law on anybody that even wants to insist on building on water channels. But then, sadly, it is what has been, and thank God that from more indication for what you've been saying here, we have an administration that is not going to just leverage on excuses, but is going to do the needful. One of the recommendations, basically, from this 2024 flood technical committee is demolitions of structures built on water channels. Now, this demolition of structures, is it going to be just in areas that you have identified that has been affected by this flood, or you're going to have demolition of structures built on water channels cut across Makurdi and Benue State at large?
Well, thank you very much. In the first place, it is completely wrong for anyone to build without having an approval for such building. It's completely wrong. And when you go around to assess what is going on, you find out that most of those structures sitting on waterways, most of them don't have approval, or they might, before now, use a kind of backdoor to get a kind of a covering document to do what they are doing, which I'm not even sure. But I want to assure you that this government of His Excellency Reverend Father Hassan Tiyume earlier will leave no stone unturned to make sure that the right thing is done and to make sure that lives and property is protected. We are going to do the needful. We'll make sure we go through all the documentations. If you don't have the proper document, you cannot block the water channel. Look at how people are suffering. If you go around to see what is going on, you pity the community that are affected by this flood. And I want to assure you that the committee will do the right thing. We won't just go and witch hunt, we won't go out on witch hunting, but we'll do the right thing because the interests of the people supersede every other interest. And our people need to have a good environment to live in, where there won't be, you understand, fakes with those challenges we are talking about today.
Okay, give us a vivid picture of this plan here. Now, if some of the structures built on water channels are demolished, what's the plan? Or the water flow to?
No, it's like you don't get what you are saying. In a situation where you have, you cannot block water. Most of these waters have their channel, and these people, they acquire this thing maybe during the dry season. So they will come, take over those portions of land, build on it, and when it is raining season, when the water comes, there is no way, and the water start to navigate into different locations. So if the government before now have a plan, like the commissioner rightly said, have a plan, it's just that people are distorting the plan. And if people are distorting the plan, we need to bring back the master plan And if the master plan, because the master plan was done by experts in that field that knows this place is the mesh area. Mesh area in the sense that it's not meant for building. So they put all those things into their plan when they are doing this town planning. We have it on paper, and the only way we'll resolve this issue is to go back to the master plan to make sure that what is in the master plan is followed. Right there in the master plan, you have all the necessary water channels in place. And if you have all those things in place and the right thing is done, I don't think we'll face what you are facing.
The residents have actually, alluded to the fact that what they are experiencing is quite unusual. That usually they expect this heavy rainfall sometime in August and not this early July that they are meant to have it, which brings in the place of climate change. So what are people, residents of Benue State, doing that is beginning to have this toll of or this impact, negative impact of climate change upon our environment?
It's what we are talking about.
Other than the drainage.
Blocking of those drainages, make sure we keep our drainages clean at all time. I bet you when you go out now, step out now, most of the residential houses, their drainages right where they pass in and out every day is blocked. In as much as the government is the responsibility of the government to protect lives and property, it's also your responsibility and my responsibility to assist the government to put this thing in place. In a situation where government is putting this thing in place for you and there is no sustainability, the people are not ready to safeguard and protect this structure that the government is putting on ground, it becomes difficult. And like I told you, if we have this thing in place and due to effect of climate change and we have a heavy downpour of rain, everything will follow the normal channel and will have a very good or conducive living environment. Even if the effect won't be much as we are experiencing, at least it will be reduced. In some cases, when it comes to nature, you cannot eliminate, you can only minimize. You cannot eliminate, you can only minimize.
Yes.
To cushion, you understand the effect.
And in this instance goes by keeping our drainage systems clean and not dumping refuse.
And where it is necessary for additional drainages to make sure that we don't have what we are experiencing now. The government is also looking at it. We are also looking at it with designs, coming up with designs to make sure that we redesign those places so that we have a very good and comfortable.
In the people's defense, in as much as it's uncalled for, there is no reason whatsoever why anyone should put refuse dump into the drainage systems. But one of the reasons, because I had asked some communities why they do that, and they said that they didn't provide any refuse dump or site for them to put their refuse dump. And I'm glad you're here because that is under your curfew as well. What do you say about people not having places to actually, or designated places to actually put their refuse dumps and then be taken away by the government? Because it's a two-way thing here.
It's just a bad habit. It's a bad habit that they have formed over years. It's a bad habit. As I speak with you, we have a waste dump, this waste green bucket. We have enough of it at Bensasa now that this administration of Reverend Father Hassan earlier produce. If you go to Bensasa, you see them that will distribute to strategic locations. It's waste we are talking about here. You don't just put waste anyhow. You should think of the hazard that come with those waste. So we have mapped out strategic location where we are going to drop this waste bucket within the city, within the town, for people to go and drop. And outside that, where people cannot easily access those waste buckets, we also have provision of this black leather for them to drop it and keep it beside their house when Bensasa and this service provider move around in the morning, they pick it. But you see that people will not do that because some of these things come with a kind of some token you pay for the services. To evade the services, that is why you see that instead of putting it or keeping it for the service provider or for Bensasa to come and pick, they rather throw it away so that they don't pay the token.
Put it on road device.
Put it on
but there has
road
been
divider.
distributions already to communities and places you say you have mapped out?
Yes, we are already you understand,
in the process.
In the process, we are already doing that. We have the waste bucket.
Okay, but it hasn't gone round marketing metropolis yet.
Yes, because we want to commission it.
Okay.
This is a kind of a project that this present administration, you understand, undertook, and we are going to distribute the bucket. As from next week, also we'll start the distribution of the waste bucket.
All right. I think we are due for a break. Who will be joining us even as we come back from this break? Please raise your conversations, add to this conversation, ask your questions, and of course contribute using our social media handle. Please stay with us. Do not go away.
Several houses and homes were sitting in water at the time of this report, and roads washed into crooked gullies following more than 4 hours of heavy downpour, which began Thursday night into Friday morning in Makudi, the Benue State capital. Areas worst affected are parts of Achusa, Gado Villa along Boko Road, Woroko behind Deeper Life Camp, Ungudu Mega Layout, opposite International Markets. The value of destruction to property and valuables is yet to be estimated, but there are indications that people will be displaced for a while in areas where houses are sitting in water. Residents of Gado Villa, Ernest Umchi and Moses Ilim lament the meanings of the flood, recounting how long their communities have been suffering the effects of the flood.
The water has destroyed so many of my things, and it just came all of a sudden. We have not been experiencing this in July. Usually it's in September we experience this, from August, September. But this one came without we knowing that it's coming at this time. It came so abruptly.
This thing happened yearly. And anytime there is much rain, it happens. If there is a flash flood like this, the water will not be able to flow there, coming back. The water is flowing up instead of going down, so it feels everywhere. Anytime there is much rain.
Richard Bayer and Boniface Ange say the flood took over their community, thereby hindering vehicular movement and pedestrians. They appeal to the Benue State government to intensify the effort in the silting and construction of drainages.
At about 6 p.m. yesterday that this rain starts, up till now we are not able to sleep. We cannot eat. The rain falls since yesterday till this morning. We've moved to another person's house, and even there the rain still enter. So we are stranded. All my documents are wasted.
The flood is now becoming so persistent. So as you can see, this is what we are experiencing, and we are appealing to government to come to our aid, because many properties worth of millions of nairas are being destroyed.
Recall that the Nigeria Meteorological Agency, NIMET, had warned that the flood this year will be worse than last year, affecting 31 states, with Benue inclusive. Evidently, more stringent solutions are needed to address the meanings of flooding in Benue. Oleku Ondoma, Benue Television News, Makudi.
Daybreak Benue on Benue television. I believe by now you must have arranged your questions. Of course, you can join our social media handle to express yourselves as the conversation that have been raised concerning the flood issues, mitigating against it in Benue State. Earlier, the Executive Secretary, you wanted to lend your voice to what have been said here. I think you have the floor.
Yes. I wanted to add my voice on the issue of climate change, and as particularly regards the surprise flood we have in July. This is strange to us here as a people, and because we normally experience flood in August going forward. We have heavy flood in June, as far back as June, and then in July. And we're talking about climate change, and some people have altered the natural stream that we have in Benue State, in Makwede particularly. People build on natural stream, and they know, they are aware that this is a stream, so they block it. So this thing happened in particular around particularly around Onakupaya extension, down to Jojakumewe, down to Akwehe, and Logo 2 and Logo 1. There are natural streams that were flowing down to River Benue. People block. 90% of the flooding we have within us is as a result of the blockages or those natural streams that are blocked. People build their houses on this stream, waterway. They block it. Look at what happened in Gadevilla. There's a stream that runs down from this new school built by St. Dominic High School. There's a natural stream that runs down to Gadevilla, beside Kabir's Hotel. So they build houses on that natural stream. So what do you expect? The water that is coming from that stream will not spread into communities. So those are the kind of issues that we are going to look at and see whether truly or genuinely this Holland and Survey allocated papers to people who build on those kind of places. How can you know that there's a stream there, then you go and build your house on that channel? What happened? You are not selling yourself, and then you are causing havoc to the neighboring communities that are living around the area. So it's very dangerous and very wicked. It's a very wicked act who are doing that. Some of them, because they have money from which are not even where we go. One of them who are not even business. They don't know why they just plenty money. We buy these houses and block people and then cause havoc to them. They live in their comfort zone. Other people living outside their homes are suffering. Go together with. I was coming from Boko on Friday evening, and I was a mess. We had literally to park. There was no way you even move on the Makwede Boko Road. Right from Tiwasabadu down to BSU Teaching Hospital. There was no way you can move that evening because of the heavy water that was coming. This water is being spread across the community because of people building on natural stream. So we are the cause of our problem.
Alright, now Naimet said, you know, the rain this year came sort of late, but it has been predicted that it's going to last for a long time. And this flooding is just the beginning. So now, how prepared are we in Benue State for what is coming? Because we can't run away from it. It must happen. So how prepared is your is your agency? You will be answering that question to Commissioner for Humanitarian. So how prepared are we?
Are you?
Yes.
Yes, we are prepared because we are working closely with NEMA.
All right.
Even the flood that we had just a few days ago, I'm in contact with Juju and NEMA. We have sent, we should forward all the necessary information we have, the damages caused to people's homes and livelihood, that the federal government has surely committed to assist us. The governor of Benue said by preparation, preparing this, people have purchased life jackets. By way of awareness, we have gone to some communities to give them life jackets. We are expecting very heavy flooding for the state based on the information we received from federal government. We are prepared, and that's why the governor has set up a technical committee. The reason why we are even here.
Okay.
So that we let the people understand exactly what is happening. So that they can also prepare themselves how to manage their life. While we are waiting for the technical committee to pick up immediate solution to mitigate the impact, then we are also coming here to let the people know that this is the level we are going, and this is how the people are going to react to what is going to happen to them.
All right, Commissioner for Humanitarian and Disaster Management.
Yeah, thank you so much. There is this high level of preparedness from the government. Like ESM had said, we have gone out and we did a flag of awareness creation. We started in Burugu local government where they will flag up, we advocate of the heavy flood that we're expecting in Benue State. Like ES has said, we distribute life jackets to the people, especially those transporters.
Yeah.
The canal, or what do you call them? We gave them, and we warned them that anybody crossing that river Burugu must use a life jacket. So, had I known anything that would happen, we asked people to move from a safety area. Probably places with high ground.
Yeah.
So that when it comes, normally these things comes at night, where you'll be very busy sleeping with your family, and before you know, everything is on the water. And again at Abo here, we also alerted the people who are living there. We are looking at finding a lasting solution, and the ministry and the Benue State government will soon flag of a collaboration with the United Nations Population Fund, UNFPA, for a lasting solution. Those who live by the water banks, we have been telling them, if you go to you see that Jukums lives by the water banks. You not being reported of Jukum being flooded because they go to places that are high. You see that ordinarily, no matter how River Benue is overflooded, you cannot see Jukuma complaining. There are people that are used to, especially in Makurdi here, people acquired empty lands without knowing what it's meant for. And they settled there. They don't know that these areas are government reserved area. Ordinary government meant where for the people. It is us that is causing this problem ourselves. So we have this jungle is ongoing from Sema, and then the team, the committee is looking at also acquiring some areas. We are renovating, we are building so that people can move there when it happens. It is ongoing.
Okay.
We are preparing areas that we can move people in. Those that doesn't have anywhere to go government will house them and will look after them for quite some time. And then we'll make sure that those areas will vacate people. Tonight, I'm going to present also a memo where ESCO will provide a land that we can relocate these people, and government will take over these areas. And either, like where you are going to North Bank, you see that those rice mill there is also a government reserved land. They acquire it by themselves. And you see that ordinary, those people this way, they feed their families. You can't just go and say, move out of that place. And even there, we have gone there to tell them that we are expecting flood. Please move to a safer ground. Ordinarily, those people vacate that area and start their rice business at Yekio, people will find them. We find them. And that place we are going to design that. Ordinarily, when you are entering town, you see a very beautiful picture of Benue State. Government will soon take over that place and design. We will build it, even if it is a tourist hotel. We'll build there. Ordinarily, you come there, relax, and everything down will not be accommodating anybody. At its high, like 1 story down, will be meant for you just come relax. We'll have boats that can take you around the rivers, and people are making a lot of money on this. So those people who are living by the water banks, we are telling them that please move to the safer side, while government is also preparing a place to house them when it happens. But what we are seeing here in Benue, in Makurdi metropolitan now, is as a result of people blocking waterways. Yes, we will not have this by this time. It's August that we are expecting that maybe the river Benue will be overflooded and cannot accommodate the chunk of water that will come. And now it's just people blocking waterways that we're having this.
And hopefully by then the Honorable Commissioner for Water Resources and Environment must have been working alongside the federal government to dredge the river Benue as a lasting solution to this issue of this flood. But let's talk about still dwelling on immediate interventions, because Honorable Commissioner, while this flood is happening, it has lots of impacts that is going to affect almost everybody directly or indirectly. Others, their houses may not be submerged in water, or they may not be displaced. But this comes with not just cholera outbreak, but reptiles as well. You know, moving around. This is where you now find people finding snakes in their toilets. It has a lot of dangers. So how are we looking at keeping the environment generally safe in Benue? Not just focusing so much on people whose houses are in water, but the other implications that comes with this, the cholera outbreak, you know, having potable, because residents have complained of not even having potable water to drink, and this is going to even worsen the situation.
So this is like a wrap up now. We are rounding up.
Yeah, we are advising people, and I think Besasa is doing that. When you listen to their jingle and all that, for a need, this is something that people within this environment are not used to. Under normal circumstances, you're supposed to fumigate your environment every 3 months. You're supposed to do fumigation against all those things you're talking about, those reptiles and all these all those things you're talking about. Bensasa now, we have a new GM who knows what is an expert in the field, and she's doing her best to make sure that people form the habit of fumigating the environment against all those things. Then in terms of potable water, the government is trying, like issue of water reticulation is what the government is not taking lightly. As every day now we are working hard to make sure that water is reticulated to the good people of Benue State, and we are doing that with that passion that is burning, you understand, in us to make sure that the masses, when I mean the masses, I know what you mean, the masses of Benue State have a very good potable water to drink.
Sorry to butt in. Is this like in a pipeline, or this is actually happening?
Is in the pipeline.
Okay.
We have the blueprint, you understand, already on ground, and you know this thing comes in stages. So we are on it, we're on top of it, and very soon the people will see what we are doing. Just like the issue of road construction and all that is ongoing now.
Okay,
All right.
sorry Steve, it's still interventions here, because we're looking at providing immediate succor right now to people who are being displaced, and I'm bringing this to the SEMA boss here, James Yopu. Talk to us about immediate intervention, because we have residents who are displaced or who have not eaten since this flood incidents, and don't even have clothes to put on, documents destroyed, but the immediate one right now is not even have food to eat. And the SEMA boss is definitely known as a humanitarian and have a way of responding swiftly, just like he has been doing with the people in the IDPs. Talk about the immediate interventions that's reaching the people.
Yeah, thank you. It's good news to the Benue people, particularly resident of Makwedi, who are flooded. The governor just directed yesterday that food items should be distributed to those who are affected by the flood. We are going to, it's just because I'm in this hall or this room, the process of distributing items is supposed to commence immediately. Okay. We are going to reach them immediately.
All right.
Yeah.
Any last word?
Yeah. Like I earlier said, truly identified with those who have been flooded, and we are saying that they should provide necessary information for government to work on their areas so that they won't be affected when it rains again. The government of Reverend Father Dr. Hyson earlier is working hard to see that everybody lives a normal life. No one complains. And the issue of flood, it is man-made, what we're saying in Benue. So give us information, we'll work on it. Government cannot be everywhere. With the information that are made available for us, we're able to question in and go through those areas, and we see the problem that actually this is causing this and this is not causing that. And then now we are calling on people to send us informations of your area. Where are you? What is causing flood in your area, so that government can work on it.
All right.
Thank you so much.
It's a good place to leave it. We've come to the end of this segment. We've been talking to Wase Kunde. He's the Honorable Commissioner for Humanitarian and Disaster Management. We're also talking with Ugu Odo, is the Commissioner for Water Resources, Environment and Climate Change. And of course, we were also talking to Sir James Yopu, Executive Secretary, Benue State Emergency and Management Agency, SEMA. Thank you very much for coming, gentlemen, and we look forward to having more interesting discussion with you. We'll be shifting our attentions to the papers after this break. Please do stay with us.
Welcome to the exciting world of Benue Television, where we give you an exclusive ride into the world of news, current affairs, and entertainment. Ready for a first stop? Ride with me. For Benue Television.
Our news and flagship program, Daybreak Benue, keeps you informed on events and happenings around the nation and the world.
We engage our guests on hot topics and beam searchlight on shady stories.
With millions of people watching Benue TV worldwide, we ensure that we bring you news that is accurate, timely, and dependable.
Our programs are entertaining and educative with high quality audio, leaving you with an amazing viewing experience.
Benue TV, a new dimension in broadcasting.
Glad you are still there. This is the right time to see what the papers are saying. Our first choice here is Nigerian pilot, and the screaming headline here says floods ravage Makurdi. The writers say most parts of Benue State capital hit by floods as hundreds of residents are rendered homeless.
The late story here says government targets 2 trillion naira in banks forex gain tax. The writer says finance institutions to pay 50% of windfall. Experts caution on timing. Find a story on page.
We draw the curtains on today's episode of Daybreak Benue. Stay tuned for the rest of our programs. My name is Stephen Abba.
And my name is Mercy Upa. And our television news will come up at 9 a.m. Bye for now.